Imagine a land before maps, before cities, before the very concept of a nation. Close your eyes and travel back 2,000 years. We are looking at a continent vast and untamed, from the silent echo of the Ice Age to the roaring pulse of the digital future. This is not just a history lesson. This is a visual journey through time. We will watch forests turn into farms, colonies turn into superpowers, and the Earth itself transform into a launchpad for the stars. How did a rugged wilderness become the architect of the modern world? And where are we going next? Fasten your seatbelt. This is the evolution of America. Section 2. Ancient America, 10,000 BCE to 1491 AD. Long before the first ships appeared on the horizon, this land was already a thriving tapestry of civilizations. It begins in the ice. 10,000 years ago, brave wanderers crossed the land bridge, walking alongside mammoths in a world of blue and white silence. As the ice retreated, the land awoke. In the forests and the plains, the first fires were lit. These were not just survivalists, they were engineers of the earth. Look at the mounds rising from the grass, ancient pyramids of soil built to touch the sky. In the southwest, cliff dwellings carved into the very face of the rock, architectural marvels that utilized the sun and shade long before modern sustainability. From the misty coasts of the Pacific Northwest, where totem poles told family histories, to the bustling trade centers of the Mississippi, this was a continent alive with culture, commerce, and connection, a paradise waiting for the world to change. Section 3. Colonial Era, 1492 to 1775. Then, the sails appeared, 3 wooden ships, tiny against the vast, unforgiving Atlantic, brought a collision of worlds. The year 1492 marked the beginning of a new chapter. Explorers stepped onto golden sands, unaware that they were stepping into a destiny that would reshape the globe. But the new world was harsh. In early settlements, surrounded by deep wilderness, survival was a daily battle against the elements. Yet slowly, the roots took hold. Wooden forts turned into bustling trading posts. Ships arrived with regularity, weaving a web of commerce across the ocean. By the 1700s, the wilderness was giving way to order. Brick buildings rose in Williamsburg and Boston, elegant streets, manicured gardens, and the hum of a society finding its footing. But in the lantern light of the harbors, a new feeling was brewing, a desire for something more than just survival, a desire for self-determination. Section 4. The New Nation, 1776 to 1820. The air in the room is thick with tension and hope. It is the late 18th century, and men in powdered wigs are debating the impossible. With the stroke of a quill on parchment, an idea is born. Use the phrase, "We the people." This wasn't just a document, it was a revolution of thought. Through the smoke of battle and the cold winters of resilience, a new flag was hoisted. Victory brought the hard work of building a government from scratch. Architects laid the foundations of a capital city in the mud, constructing white marble monuments to democratic ideals. But the map was still blank to the west. Explorers set off up the rivers, facing breathtaking mountain vistas, carrying the ambition of a young nation on their backs. America was no longer just a collection of colonies. It was a rising star. Section 5. Expansion and Transformation, 1820 to 1877. The horizon kept moving. In the 19th century, the call of the West was undeniable. It started with water, canals slicing through the countryside, speeding up the pace of life. Then came the wagons, thousands of families, fueled by hope and grit, crossing the endless sea of grass. They sought land. They sought gold in the California hills, creating boom towns overnight where there was once only dust. But this growth came at a heavy cost. It was a time of deep division, a time when the nation had to define what freedom truly meant. Yet even in the shadow of conflict, unity was forged in iron. The golden spike was driven into the ground, linking east and west by rail. The continent had been spanned, the frontier was closing, and the age of the machine was about to begin. Section 6. Industrial Age, 1877 to 1945, Steam, Steel, and Light. The turn of the century saw America transform into an industrial titan. Inventors in workshops captured lightning in glass bulbs, banishing the darkness. In the harbors, a copper giant welcomed millions of dreamers arriving with nothing but hope in their pockets. The cities grew upwards, scratching the sky with steel skeletons. The pace of life accelerated. We learned to fly, lifting off from the sand dunes to conquer the air. We built assembly lines that put the world on wheels. Through the roaring energy of the Jazz Age, to the quiet resilience of the hard times, the American spirit remained unbroken, and when the world needed it most, the factories turned their might toward freedom, uniting a home front in a display of production the world had never seen. We emerged from the smoke as a superpower. Section 7. Modern America, 1945 to 2025. The war ended, and the future arrived. The suburbs bloomed with pastel houses and chrome-lined cars, a picture of prosperity. But the culture was shifting. A generation found its voice in music and peaceful gatherings, demanding a more perfect union. We looked up and aimed for the moon. A footprint in the lunar dust proved that humanity had no limits. Down on Earth, skyscrapers of glass reflected the neon glow of the 80s. And then, the quiet revolution of the silicon chip. Offices filled with the glow of monitors. The world became connected by an invisible web of information. We moved from the atomic age to the digital age, carrying the library of human knowledge in our pockets. We are the architects of the now, standing on the edge of tomorrow. Section 8, Future America, 2025 to 2100. What happens next? Close your eyes again. And imagine the year 2050, 2080, 2100. The cities of the future are not gray and cold, they are green and breathing. Skyscrapers act as vertical forests, purifying the air. Energy is harvested from the sun and the wind, clean, silent, and infinite. Transportation flows seamlessly, autonomous pods gliding through smart streets. But our gaze extends beyond the atmosphere. We see orbital stations acting as gateways, and red dust turning green as we establish new homes on Mars. This is a vision of harmony, where technology and nature exist in balance, a society that has learned from its past to protect its future. Section 9. Conclusion and outro from a hunter's footprint in the snow to a colony among the stars. The story of America is a story of constant reinvention. It is a journey defined by the courage to explore, the strength to rebuild, and the imagination to dream. The timeline
Between the pages of forgotten journals and the glow of midnight screens, the American story keeps writing itself. It lives in crowded buses at dawn, in factory floors and corner shops, in classrooms where questions refuse to stay quiet. It is whispered in a dozen languages on a single city block, carried in songs, in protests, and prayers. Every voice, every choice leaves a trace on this unfolding map of time. Look closely and you can see the pattern. Artists painting futures on city walls, scientists turning data into cures, farmers coaxing life from tired soil with new wisdom and old traditions, engineers bending metal and code into bridges we cannot yet imagine, parents who cross oceans so their children can cross boundaries of possibility. These are not footnotes in history, they are the ink. For every monument carved in stone, there is an unsung builder behind it. For every law passed in marble halls, there is a chorus of citizens who refused to be silent. Progress is not a straight line. It is a heartbeat, surging forward, falling back, then rising again, stronger. In times of crisis, from roaring storms to silent pandemics, ordinary people become the guardians of tomorrow. Neighbors become lifelines, communities become catalysts. And as our tools grow smarter, as our cities grow brighter, one question follows us into the future. Not just what America will become, but who we choose to be. Because this story was never written by heroes alone. It has always belonged to all of us. The dream of America has never been a single voice or a single vision. It is a chorus. Farmers under open skies, coders lit by the glow of a screen, nurses on night shifts, artists painting hope into empty spaces. Different paths, different struggles, all stitched into one shared horizon. When their stories overlap, when their efforts connect,
The line doesn't end here. It continues with us. We are the ancestors of the future. Thank you for traveling through time with us. If you enjoyed this journey, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Join us as we explore more histories, more futures, and more stories of humanity, visualized by intelligence, told by us. Until next time.